This might be the biggest Serato update since the release of Serato stems, and in my opinion, might be even more important for Serato than Serato stems for a lot of DJs out there. And let me get into it. So, Serato DJ Pro and Lite just received an update to version 3.2 that adds some really key features to the effects section of the software. Now, Serato's software effects have been okay, pretty good in the past, but this new update pretty much rebuilds and revamps the entire thing, makes them a lot more usable, and in my opinion, puts it almost on par, if not on par, with hardware effects that you'd find on top of the line controllers like this Rain Performer or even the Pioneer mixers that you see a lot of DJs really love and love the effects on those units. And why I think this is so important is because this means that even with a entry-level sub $300, sub $200 controller like this Pioneer FLX4, you get the same quality effects that you would get on a piece of gear that costs thousands of dollars. And that's huge because that means that gives the kind of creative abilities to DJs just starting out that was kind of gate kept a little bit because of the differences in the software effects and the hardware effects. So let's dive into Serato DJ and let me show you exactly what I mean. So here we have the effects panel open. So to open it up, you just hit this effects button and you'll notice this section is completely reworked. It's a lot clearer and it's a lot simpler to kind of figure out. But also, if we hit this cog right here, you get really in-depth controls of all of the effects, and most importantly, you can save those as presets once you figure out what's your favorite settings for each of those effects. Now, another feature that I really like is the fact that all of these effects, they're broken down into sections now to make it really simple to figure out which effects you're looking for, and even more importantly, instead of having to go through this long list of effects, if you have all of them, if you go into the settings and then go into the effects, you can actually create a favorites list, which just narrows down the effects that you would use, and a lot of the effects that you probably aren't really interested in, you can take those off to make switching through the effects really easy and really simple, much like the way you would do on a piece of hardware like this, where you have just a certain amount of buttons instead of having to dig through all the different effects like you would previously in Serato DJ Pro. So the biggest, I guess, most clear example would be the echo out. It's a favorite effect for a lot of DJs out there, especially open format DJs. It makes transitions really, sound a lot cleaner and you can get away with a lot of stuff. And the echo out previously in Serato DJ was pretty good, but it never really sounded on par with what you would get from hardware effects like on this Rain Performer or the Pioneer S11, S7, etc. Now, we have this loop going. So I'll go ahead and engage the echo out hardware effect on this Rain Performer. We'll give it a listen. Sounds really clean. I love the fact that there's a high pass filter on it that kind of gets away from the rumble of, echoing out a kick drum. Always love the effects, the hardware effects that were found on this and those Pioneer mixers. But now let's engage the echo out on Serato DJ. So let's just make sure I have the echo out, have all my settings right, looks good. Go ahead and switch to software effects right there. Select the echo out. And now let's switch back to that hardware effect. Now back to software. sounds really close and pretty much on par, both the software and the hardware effects together. This is the first time I'll say that Serato has gotten to this point. I've, said that even the mid-range controllers like the Rev 5, even though they didn't have hardware effects, the Serato effects were good enough. Now I'll say that they're pretty much the same as getting hardware effects on your unit. And imagine that. Instead of having to have a $2,000 piece of gear like this, I had that same quality effects on this FLX4. And not only that, but the big change for me is the fact that now they've added color effects, or what they call channel effects, on the actual, what would be a filter on something like this, the FLX4. Now I have things like dub echo, noise, things that you would only find on higher end gear. Not only do I get all the different software effects like your echoes, your reverbs, your flangers, etc., but now I get the option of not only having filter, which admittedly I don't really use a lot, but I'm a huge fan of dub echo, and whenever I use a more budget piece of gear, it's something that I miss. Now I have it pretty much on every piece of Serato hardware that I would plug into. It's a huge update, and of course it's free, and I think for the majority of DJs out there, they're really going to enjoy this. Now, it's not as game-changing as stems, but the fact that it gives this much functionality to all the DJs out there that use Serato DJ is huge. I'm really happy about it. I'm glad that I can get the same quality effects no matter what I plug into, and even if I'm plugging into a piece of hardware that I was kind of iffy about the effects before, don't have that issue anymore. Shout out to Serato for bringing this update out. I love not only having those high quality effects, being able to save them with, the right filter setting or different wet dry settings. I love the fact that there's that favorites list now, and of course, the new channel effects. Great job. If you're a Serato DJ user, update right away. It's a free update, and you guys all should download it. Well, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more DJ related content, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And if you're looking for more videos to watch right now, click on one of these videos right here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.